It's an exciting time to be in the accounting profession. I really wanted to just get your thoughts on where you see the industry going and what do you see in your own practice as being kind of the key trends that you need to take on and key challenges you need to meet.
There is really a lot going on in our business, and in these businesses, the transformation for accountants and tax professionals is very big. It's a real adventure, basically. We have generations of people that have been working for decades in a certain secure way in accounting, meaning data processing, transaction processing, preparing financial statements. Nowadays, technology takes over, well, let's say 80% of their work, and maybe even more, because technology will take out all the routine work that they do, and everything which is processing is routine work. Meaning that a large part of the business is disappearing.
One of the things I heard you talk about in the roundtable, which I thought was part of the challenge, right, of getting the professional to change, is that the business model also has to change, where you were talking about how accountants historically charged by hours, so if you automate some of the work, it's fewer hours, but how then do they bill and capture the value?
Traditionally, an accountant is paid by the hour.
Right.
Because if they do better, we have to do less work. And that's a typical dilemma, a paradox, basically, that you have to break through, because otherwise you will never get to the point that accountants will try to spend less hours.
Right.
But we choose to be the first mover. We said, well, let's change our earnings model. And we changed our earnings model for the entrepreneurs in the small and medium-sized enterprises, to a fixed price model, which is a subscription.
Right.
Basically, you pay a fixed amount every month, and you start paying the first month. It's not an annual budget; it is a fixed amount per month, and we deliver our services under that subscription. Entrepreneurs hate surprises.
Yes.
They like the surprises in the market, but not on the cost side.
Yeah.
So they don't want to pay by the hour anymore. They say, okay, I pay a subscription fee, and tell me what's in it. I do want to have some extra work, specific stuff that I want you to do. I paid for that every month, same amount, easy and transparent.
And how then do you see, given that the future of the accounting profession will be more about being an advisor, more about the analytics, and how do you see that changing? Kind of the educational approach, for the students that are coming into the profession. Because they come in most of our fields, accounting included, the next generation comes in knowing technology very, very well.
I wasn't going to advise my son to do an accounting education.
And why not?
Because that would be too small. Okay. And actually that would be an education for something that's being automated in the future.
So what would you advise him to?
I gave him the advice to look for a broader perspective, which is business economics or broader than accounting. And I'm sure that will be the case, that accounting education in itself will probably disappear. You already see that people that in our business now ask for advisory skills. So sometimes I compare it with a car. There's not a guy next to my car with a shovel with coals, because the engine is doing itself without me knowing it. I have now to learn how to use the navigation instead of the steering wheel, because I know that already, but that's new. So we shift, also in our profession, we shift to a higher level.
Right. And do you see that that the technology that you're beginning to use is getting smarter? I mean, one of the things that we are trying to build into some of our software tools is that not only do they automate some of the work, but they push out potential solutions or answers so that the professional, kind of says, oh, maybe I didn't think of that, but yes, that's the direction I should be going. How do you see that evolving?
I think so. You already see that and I think we call it audit rules in stuff like in systems like Twinfield. They take over activities of auditors. Of course, you need the intelligence to design a control or an audit procedure, but once it's designed, you can apply it. And then another big thing is that all these data, the big data,
Right.
is almost self-auditing.
Yes.
It becomes self-auditing
yes.
because of the quality of the benchmark.
Right.
So every exception, you can see it on the spot when it's the transaction is recorded in a system. It will be flagged as
As an exception,
As
right?
an exception.
Yeah, yeah.
So a lot of the detailed test work that auditors do will be taken over by systems. I'm absolutely sure.
Yeah, and it will be more about IT controls and
It
some of
will be
those
more,
other.
and that's quite a challenge because IT knowledge is getting better in our profession, but it is still difficult
Yeah,
because of the swift changes in technology. You almost need a daily update on
Right.
what's happening. You know, as I told that in 2008 we wanted to connect systems of clients in our portal, but most times it wasn't even possible because the data wasn't exchangeable.
Right.
But today it's possible. It's only 5 years.
I think we've covered, the major trends around automation, around moving from automated functions to advisory, around how regulation is affecting the industry, and also where you see the next generation going. And I want to say thank you. It's really an exciting,
too.
I think, time for the profession because it is
Absolutely.
undergoing so much change, and
Yep.
that always uncovers opportunities.
It's still an adventure.